Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Here we go. On
Hold on. 3, 2,
1. Here we go. You have tolerated these folks for 156 episodes. Why not one more? Here is the 157th glorious episode of Ages of Rock, the podcast that would have me on as a guest. Here they are.
Yeah, not once.
And more than
twice, anybody. Not 3, 4. This is the sixth time.
Yeah.
That's right. In good Canadian speak, I am the Wayne Gretzky of
yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly.
You are our fourth favorite Canadian.
That's right. After Rush.
Exactly. You're right. I can't put you above Getty or Alex or our buddy Mr. Peart. So
Neil.
Well, if you're going to go all of those favorite Canadians, where do Brett Fitz and Todd Kearns?
They're pretty up. They're pretty high. I like those guys.
We like them, but I'm gonna have to go ahead. And plus, they've all moved to Vegas, so they're sort of pseudo Canadians at this point.
That's true. They're not actually living in Canada, so
right. And I think they drink Starbucks and not Tim Hortons. So
that's a qualifier.
It is a qualifier. You have to appreciate swill.
Yeah, when I was on the Canadian Metal podcast, I can't remember the exact name of it, with Wally Norton.
It's called the Canadian Metal whatever podcast. It's a great podcast.
But anyway, I did the How Much Canadian Do You Know trivia quiz, and I realized that I am very ignorant of Canadian culture.
And they're proud of that.
Yeah, you can't get your Canadian culture from Strange Brew. That's not exactly where.
You can't. Oh, okay.
Slapshot.
Slapshot, exactly.
It's a great movie, by the way.
The Hanson Brothers.
We're so limited.
Yeah.
So, man, how you doing?
Good. I'm surviving. I'm interviewing daily. It's getting a little bit much. I had Liberty DeVito on yesterday for an hour. It's going to come out in March.
Dennis, that is the former drummer for Billy Joel, in case you didn't know.
It is the former drummer for Billy Joel, and he had some incredibly great stories about the Stormfront album and working with Mick Jones, a foreigner, and his relationship with Billy now, and the Hired Guns movie that, of course, had Eric Singer in it. So just it was a great chat. And what else do I got? I've got Ron Nevison coming up that I'm going to do on Friday, or I'm going to do in the next couple of days, who's going to talk about Kiss Crazy Nights and then all the other stuff he's done. And yeah, it's busy time, and can't complain too much,
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
We're enjoying
So is he mended fences with Billy Joel, or is that wait and listen to the episode?
They went to court and they had an agreement, and there's a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. Yeah.
Listen, the tone of the conversation certainly wasn't very spiteful. But I wouldn't qualify it as they're holding hands and skipping down a path just yet. So, but NDAs will do that. It'll sort of neutralize emotions on both ends, right? Because it'll say you can't go out and badmouth him if we're going to sign this, and at the same time, it says you can't go out and talk about what's in it. So I don't know. But it was a great chat. I mean, it really was more about. There's a charity that Little Kids Rock. Is that what it's called? Little Kids Rock org, where they donate instruments in disadvantaged schools and stuff like that. Which
that's cool.
I think whether you're a Billy Joel fan or a Foo Fighters fan or a Guns N' Roses fan, or in my case, Tigers of Pent, of course you can support that. Right, or Dawkins. Yeah, so of course you can support that. You don't have to be a Liberty to support that. And
Roses.
we like the Guns. I got an email from Mr. Fortis the other day, which I won't disclose further. Yeah, but yes. So what shall we discuss? I'm always a little more.
We have all kinds of
this platform than my own.
we were going to do like a pre-show, and we said, you know what? Why do a pre-show when we can just have you on and we'll just do our pre-show stuff with you? I mean, we basically talk and bitch and moan and whatever. I mean, we talk about what's now, what's going on this week so far. Bill, you got anything this week?
Ace Frehley's coming to Nashville.
Yes.
Tickets go on sale Friday.
Yes.
And I'm
I
going
cannot
to buy
figure
some
out
tickets
what-
on Friday.
I don't know what. I still don't know what the tier. I've talked to 2 people in Nashville. Do not know what the tier system is. There for tier system for smaller groups is one is a meet and greet. I know you're not going to get a meet and greet for $79 with Ace.
Is that all it is?
No, what I'm thinking is the venue is a stand up only, and there's an upper bar. So I'm thinking that 79 is probably the bar
Level.
and
You
then
just
the other
hang out.
and everything else is the other one. So if you're taking your son, we probably should do the 49.
Okay,
The place
whatever.
only holds 1,500 people.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's not gonna be
I'm buying a
bad-
$49 ticket.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
And only about 500 will show up, so it's not so bad.
That's what I
Nashville will be
figure.
more
yeah
There'll be more
Nashville.
than that in
Jim.
Nashville because of
Because-
of
Now
the
I
band.
saw Ace at the Wild Horse in 2008, and there was about 500 people there.
I don't
But
think it
you
has anything to
also
do with
have-
Ace.
No,
I
but
think
you
it has to
have
do with
all
the band.
Philip and Ryan and all those guys are there. I mean, and Jeremy. That's going to be the draw.
Could be.
They bring
You know-
500 people into the
Mercy
Mercy
Lounge.
Lounge. So that 500 people are going to be there on top of whatever wants to see Ace. So it will be a sold out show.
It's amazing though with Ace, completely alone doing some of the Kiss songs. You're looking, at least in the Montreal market, 500 people max. Maybe 400 people in Ottawa, and yet you put him with Kiss, and venues are selling out. Now, of course, venues are selling out. Well, in fact, Kiss is doing about 93% right now without him.
Right.
But it's just amazing how him alone, you would think, well, it's worth at least five. No, it's not. It's a club gig. It's terrible, and yet you add it to Paul and Gene, and you boost them up to 100%. You get those extra 4,000 tickets sold or whatever. So it's amazing how chemistry and band and brand work. But we'll see.
But Gene on his own and Paul on his own don't draw in. You
Oh,
can't
exactly.
fill a
No, it's the
stadium
same
either.
thing.
None
Oh,
of
it's
them
the same
can
thing.
fill a stadium. I mean, it's
And
just
and that's
and Peter
why
can't
power of
fill
brand.
a bathroom. I mean, it's just
Oh, and listen, let's not kid ourselves. Vinnie Vincent wasn't going to be doing all kinds of great numbers, and Union with Bruce Kulick wasn't doing all kinds of great numbers. So it's just that brand that's right behind that head there. It's brand,
Sells
man.
tickets.
Sells tickets.
Vinny
Yep.
has to show up first before he can before he can actually put people in a seats. I mean, he
Yeah.
played that thing at the cruise deal. He played it. Well, he got up on stage and strummed around on a guitar and basically looked like a deer in the headlights, like he didn't even know how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Didn't even try to do anything. And then after that, books this thing in Memphis, which got canceled. Books the thing in Nashville, which got canceled. Dude, he's never coming. We're never going to see him again.
Yeah, well, which is unfortunate because I personally think, having spoken to different people involved, I got a sense that the promoter was doing this sort of, with duct tape and sort of stringing it along. I got an impression that Vinny got put into an awkward situation, and of course, it's easy for the promoter to just say, "Well, it's Vinny's fault," his track record. I got the impression from band members and stuff that it was more the promoter's fault, who hadn't signed a contract for the venue, who hadn't secured.
Twice?
Listen, I wasn't there. I can only tell you what I'm told.
Yeah, but it's the same guy that did the
Right.
deal with him in
I know,
Atlanta
in
that was a
Atlanta.
clusterfuck. So it's just
Listen,
Yeah.
they probably shouldn't work together.
probably not.
Right.
Probably not a good idea.
Here's what comes to me though is Vinny claims, and we stood there in Atlanta and watched him. I seen it come out of his mouth. He practices. He plays 8 hours a day every day.
Mhm.
Bill, did you hear that?
I heard
Alan, did you hear that? The guy picks up a guitar and holds it like you hand your girlfriend a guitar.
Mhm.
I mean, he honestly, and then when you see him playing, he's fumbling. I was at the Gene Vault and I saw him playing with Gene. Gene was outplaying him 10-1. Where is this 8 hours of playing going to? I don't, you know,
maybe he's
it's
playing
not there.
Guitar Hero.
I used to.
I guess. I don't know.
I used to coach baseball when I was younger, and I would tell the kids, we have to practice. And this kid said, practice makes perfect, coach? And I went, no, perfect practice makes perfect. Because they'd show up to the field and they'd sort of boot it around like, oh, we're on the field. And it's like, no, that's not practice. So, practicing 8 hours, what does that mean? If he's just going A, I mean, that's practice.
Right.
But that's not advancing the skills or keeping up your chops. So,
What I'm going to say, though, his whole qualm was that he didn't.
By the way, I don't know if you can see this, but on Alan's screen, there's little hearts that keep scrolling by. I have no idea why there's hearts scrolling by on it.
That's a Skype feature, and somebody's clicking the button. Bill.
Nope.
I don't know.
Bill's
but
got it
Dennis.
right here.
I got hearts scrolling by your, I guess, left shoulder, and it's like, well, wait, why is there hearts by his left
I don't
shoulder?
see any. I don't see anything.
He loves you, Mitch.
That's
I
pretty
will.
funny.
I don't see it there.
That's funny.
I guess
Maybe you have a ghost person on here. We don't know about it.
I love you too,
Vinny.
by the way.
Vinny's on here going, I love you guys. I love you.
That's it.
So let's get into it. What are some of your burning questions or topics of the week, or intros that I can chime in on?
Well, I want to know what your thoughts are about. Let's see, Kiss stealing the stage show of Motley Crue.
No, but now they have actually.
Wait. Kiss stealing the stage show from Motley Crue, who stole it from Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, there you go.
Who stole it from Kiss?
Yeah.
Well, listen, God, there are so many things to say about that. First of all, the production manager for the Crue and Motley Crue and for Kiss is the same dude. So
Shocking.
now, right, shocking. And he, of course, doesn't work for any bands. He has his own private company, and they offer staging, which they either rent out or they sell. And a lot of bands, I'm trying to think who it was. Somebody had borrowed the Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet stage. Maybe it was Def Leppard or something, and you could see from above pictures it said Slippery When Wet on it. But bands will do that to recoup money. They'll pay whatever it is, $100,000, $200,000, $1 million for a stage and all kinds of bells and whistles, and then it sits in a warehouse and somebody says, "Hey, can we rent it from you?" So it happens all the time. It's absolutely something that goes on all the time. Now, it happens to be that Kiss and the Crue guys are the same production company, and they probably said, "Listen, it's sitting in our vault. We can give it to you cheap." But go all the way back to, what was it, Dogs d'Amour with David Bowie? He was doing that thing with a crane sort of going and a chair going. So they're not the first. And Buddy Rich, the old drummer, used to spin around on his drum set way before Tommy Lee ever did it. Did Motley Crue improve on it? Well, of course, technology was better. Was their crane more advanced? Yes, of course, than Kiss in 1977. It's hilarious, and I don't even know if it's a dirty little secret, but I'll just say it again. Bands all the time rent staging from other bands because it's a money saver than to have some guy go in and build your own stage. So, listen, it's a faux or it's a fake. What's the word I'm looking for? It's fake rage.
Exactly.
It's something to keep their name in the public eye because the dirt's coming out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and by the way, that's fair play.
And if it wouldn't have been for the dirt coming out, Nicky wouldn't have said a word about that. He just wants to he's using Gene's page from his book on how to fucking promote yourself by doing that.
And if Motley Crue had something out before and Kiss's tour was coming out later, I'm sure somebody in the Kiss camp would say, "Oh, well, Nicky sticks them." But that's fair game, and that's why if you look at my Twitter and my socials, I've been playing on it because I just want to be part of the game. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Stir the pot.
Dude,
Have some fun. Have some fun.
Listen, It's absolute fun. I mean, I have no ill will towards Kiss, obviously, and obviously no ill will towards Nikki. It's cute, and if you look at the responses I'm getting, it's just an incredible amount of retweets, comments, and you know what? I think most people are taking it tongue in cheek. There's a couple that are very adamant in one camp or another, and there's a couple that are like, dude, give it up. But I would say 98% are like having fun, and they're tweeting back pictures or they're tweeting back silly comments, and it just makes for a frivolous, fun rock talk, for the lack of a better word.
So are you saying that you learned from Gene Simmons to capitalize on somebody else's PR to help your PR?
Yeah.
That's page 31.
No, listen.
Exactly right.
I think that what I've been really good at over the last few years is identifying spots and things and getting in there, figuring out which is a good interview, getting ahead of the curve. You look at the Van Halen story that's coming up. You looked at the Guns N' Roses story a couple of years back. It's calling the rumor that is going to come through, or ignoring the ones that are just totally bullshit that will screw your credibility. It's picking up on stories like this and running with it and having fun with it, and then doing random stuff like Gene versus Nikki, Paul versus Nikki, because it does create talk. And it's luckily 98% of it is pure fun talk. It's not baloney talk. And, the other 2%, well, whatever. You just sort of shrug it off and go, okay.
Well, that stuff used to be in the Hit Parader and the circus magazines.
Of course.
It was just because he didn't have social media and instant gratification. It was slower for us to have these arguments with each other.
Right. They stole it from me. I'm going to take a book out of a page out of Nikki's. Even though they were 25 years ahead of me, they stole it from me.
There you go.
There you go.
All you got to do is copyright it right now.
So you
trademark.
You mentioned the Van Halen thing. So
Yeah.
what's your take on that? Is that a rumor, or is that maybe going to happen?
Most rumors are based on some truth. There is talk, and I'm not declaring anything, but I've heard talk of dates in Chicago already being reserved. I've heard dates in other cities where venues are being held. Does that mean anything? A promoter sometimes will hold a venue and then, with no intention of having the band there, and then go make some crazy money play and go, listen, if I pay you $14 million, will you come play Wrigley Field in July? And the band will go, well, we weren't planning on doing anything, but now you mentioned so just because a venue's held doesn't mean anything's confirmed. But there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of chatter that Michael Anthony had gone over to Eddie's house. Again, wasn't there, don't know, but I know the people that are talking to me, they're not bullshittists. They're not internet trolls. They are people in the community that would know. I have a sense that nothing is signed, but that something has been talked about, because all this chatter coming to me in different directions through different emails and different texts wouldn't be coming to me if there was nothing there.
Now, I know that Joe Rogan actually tonight mentioned on his website that he is going to have David Lee Roth on tomorrow and some big news or whatever. Now, Joe Rogan's also a tattoo person, and David Lee Roth's coming out with this new products with this tattoo. So I don't know if it's anything to do with that, but who knows? It could be one. And Dave's one to probably sputter some.
Right. He's actually graduated from paramedic to anesthesiologist. That's
exactly.
That's the big announcement.
But I mean, he'll be, like I say, he'll be the one to sputter any kind of rumor mill kind of swirling kind of things going on. So we'll find out maybe.
Yeah, but you know what? Nobody is going to. They all, if something's happened, whether it's the Kiss reunion tour of '96 or this one or Guns, they all have non-disclosure agreements.
Right.
They all have a PR campaign. So Dave, Michael, if I could have all four of them on the show tomorrow morning, not one of them would say anything that's crystal clear, because. Sure. Whoever the management or the PR team would be like, hey, motherfucker, we said May 25th at 9 o'clock. And listen, they're in the business because they know the rules. That's how you stay in the business. You play by the rules.
Right.
Even though rock and roll is dangerous, blah, yeah, bullshit. You play by the rules.
Right.
And so Dave's going to be on tomorrow, and Eddie Van Halen, if there's something, is not going to let Dave make an announcement on Joe Rogan about a massive reunion. It's not going to happen.
That's
It's just
true.
not going to happen.
Well, and is that
Eddie shows
the
up.
venue?
But so far, I mean, the rumors that I've heard is basically just a short, few runs through the summer, just a few intimate show or a few shows. Is that what? That's what
Stadium shows.
stadium shows.
They're not intimate.
Intimate stadium shows.
Intimate as far as it, but I'm saying it's not going to be a full run or a full tour. It's just going to be spot, maybe 6, 7, 8 tour, shows.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hearing. So
dozen.
yeah, dozen, whatever.
We'll see. I mean, time is running out. I mean, if these dates in Chicago in July are legitimate, and you're doing a stadium, you're expecting people probably to fly in from Japan and Europe and South America. You need to get it out there. God,
Soon.
yeah, I'm thinking. I was going to say May 1st, but that might even be way too late. I mean, that's something that would have to be out definitely by April for it to make sense to me.
Right.
I mean, of course, if you're Van Halen, Guns N' Roses, or whoever, maybe you can announce it the night before and still get your tickets. But I would think a stadium tour, you're going to need some non-local fans to show up, and that means giving people travel time or travel arrangement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see. I think it might happen.
So you've seen Kiss on their farewell tour so far. Bill doesn't want to hear
I have
anything.
not
Doesn't want
seen
to
them.
see anything.
He hasn't been. No, he hasn't.
Jeez, I thought you went to the one in Canada.
No, that's
Well, no,
funny.
no.
A magazine, because I had put on my Facebook. Somebody went to it and sent me a video, and I put the video on my Facebook. And then the next day, I read in one of the real popular magazines,
Right.
which is funny. Canadian rock journalist Mitch LaFon went to the Vancouver show, and I was like,
Well, I
Well,
must have seen that one.
I'm not going to
That's
deny
what
it, but no,
Well,
I have gone, and I have to be honest, I don't have tickets to any of them. They are actually in Montreal in a couple of weeks, and then they come back in August, which, and I'll explain why the August one is particularly significant for me. But I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm holding out hope for an invitation from somebody. So we'll
Pull
see.
the letter out. Pull the letter
Yeah,
out.
pull a letter. I don't know. I mean, I most likely will be there. I don't have anything confirmed yet, but I'm sure somebody will. Those hearts are scrolling by real fast. I love those hearts.
That's
man.
the weirdest thing. I wonder where it's coming from.
I don't know.
Oh,
wait.
Are you doing
Did
it?
you have the one?
I don't know. It's like now that I pull my thing up here at the bottom, there's hearts pulsating. Why is it doing that? Here, Mitch, you get.
It's not showing up on the recording.
They don't show up.
No, now you got a sad face. Now I see a
I got
sad face.
All right.
Oh, what?
I got
How do I
sad
turn it
face.
off? It's mine. I don't know how to turn it off.
I don't know. I got heart. Anyway, I love the hearts. The hearts work.
He feels loved. I mean, that's the
No,
whole
I
thing.
haven't gone to it yet. And you know what? I would definitely go. For different reasons. It's for me. It's been 40 years since I first saw them, 1979. And all the talk in the internet of whether it's live or not live. I mean, it really makes no difference to me. If this was 1975 and it was the first time seeing it, and then somebody came to me and said it was tapes, I'd go, "Oh, that's too bad." First of all, I don't know if it's tapes. I have no opinion on that. But I think you go now out of respect, almost like, I don't want to say like a funeral, but you just go there and you tip your
Right.
hat and you say, "Hey, thank you for everything. You gave me 40 years of joy. Me showing up and giving you a sold out show is going to give you a farewell tour that you can brag about, and you repay the favor." That's the way I see it.
Right.
In this case, it's really not about this guy's in the band, that guy's in the band, this guy can do this. You know what?
Yeah.
After 40 years, just go say thank you. I mean, really.
We went down to the Philharmonic the other night, and that's the first time I've been in a car that has Sirius radio. We took my wife's car down to the thing, and they were playing some of that show from the Whiskey,
Yeah.
and that was not tape vocals,
No.
not at all.
Listen,
I mean, it was actually kind of really crude at times. I mean, it was pretty rough at times, actually.
All right. Listen,
So
I can't speak with any authority on whether or not they're using tapes. All I can tell you is many bands out there, that people are wearing shirts of right now, use tapes. But use tapes. What does that mean? So some players, they'll pump in the background vocals. If you go to Bon Jovi, for example, those are the album background vocals that you're hearing. It's not the guys on stage.
Def Leppard, same deal.
Def Leppard, Motley Crue. When you go see Motley Crue, those girls dancing behind, they're not actually singing. When you see Tommy Lee play the piano, that's a tape, and when you go to Kiss back in the day when Peter Criss came out, well, let me tell you, there wasn't an orchestra playing Beth.
Oh, really?
What?
Oh, damn it.
No, it's the whole concept of tape.
Where's my album? I'm gonna rip it up.
Right. I mean, do you maybe have a track that's playing along? So if you cough or you turn away from the mic, there's still a doesn't mean you're not singing live over it or live to it. And again, I have no authority to know what they're doing. I don't know what their production is, and I haven't seen it from my own eyes. And listen, vocals on YouTube that are a little off on the lips, well, you can see that in professionally shot videos.
I don't
YouTube
trust those.
YouTube sometimes staggers. So go witness it, decide for yourself. That's what I'm holding out judgment. And again, I don't care.
Well, that's why I've been very good. So my first show is March 12th,
right,
in Louisville, Kentucky. So I have not watched any video, and I have seen pictures, and I've not listened to any audio. I don't want to see it. I want to be able to go there and have, as much as you can anymore, right?
Right.
All this stuff is so easily, readily available. It's hard not to do that. So I have made that commitment to myself, and so far I've kept it, and I'm not this close to getting there to not do that.
Is that show sold out?
I don't know. Probably could be. I don't know.
Hopefully.
But for me, to your point, Mitch, to me, going is the first time I'm going, I'm taking my family, except for my son who can't go, one of my sons. So that's important to me as a family. I'm going to the second show. I'm flying to Jacksonville, Florida to go with my dad, who took me for the first time in 1978, and my sister and my two brothers. We've never all been together, but we've all seen them numerous times. So that's another event, part of the event.
And that's it. In March, I'm going to go because they're in March. And in August, they are playing here August 16th, 2019. I saw them for the first time in Montreal on August 6th. 1979. So literally 40 years to the day. I mean, we're with a 10-day difference.
Right.
And my mom said she wanted to go. So she took me 40 years ago to the very first show. She's still around and alive. And forget Kiss playing. That's not that one in August. That one in August is not about Kiss playing. It's about, my mom is real quick. She's 79.
Right.
She probably won't be around for the next 20 years, as you get to that age. So it's sort of like closing the circle and saying, we started here with Kiss. This will probably be the last show we see together. Not that she's going to die this year,
right.
but I assume she's not coming to Metallica with me next summer. It's a nice way to close the thing. And if I pass away before her for whatever reason, she can say we had it complete, and if she passes away, we complete it. It bookends it, and I think that's a better story than I went to see Kiss on a Friday night. I mean, that's a great story in itself, but when you add in that family, and that's what it's about. It's about taking your kids. It's about taking your wife for the first time. It's about taking the nephew for the first time, and that's what it's about. The fact that they're playing the same set list or the lights are, I don't fucking care. Right.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
And it's always good to swear when you're talking about them.
And Bill, and in August you get to go with me. Me and you get to see a show
together. I'm going. Yeah, which is ironic.
You
right?
drew the short straw, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm going in August because I'm taking my other son who can't go in March.
Right.
So that's
my
August to go.
And I'll take my wife who doesn't care.
Yeah, but the other part about going then too is there's a group of people going, and the reunion tour I went to with Dennis that we hadn't seen together each other in what 15 years.
Yeah, I know. In '96 we went to Louisville, second show of the tour.
So it was, so there's
$70 T-shirts,
and we were all three at that show.
Didn't know it.
We didn't know Alan.
Yeah, and I think your point, Mitch. You're 100% right.
Full circle.
The last probably, I don't know, 10 shows I went to, it really wasn't about as much about me going to the shows as about the people I'm taking, and I get to watch them. It's and when you tell them you're taking them to the greatest show on earth, and they go, yeah, it's just another show, and they leave there and they go, oh my God, what just happened? And I bitched the entire time about the set list, and they were like, it's awesome. So
I've took people over the years, like I said, the same deal where they weren't really big Kiss fans, and they still didn't turn out to be big Kiss fans, but the show impressed them, and they're like, oh my God, now I know why you're such a fan. Now did they become fans? No, or sort of fans, but people have to see it. A lot of people that have never seen it live don't understand it.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And that's what it's about. So when you read on Facebook and this and that, oh, I'm not gonna go, and it's fake Kiss and it's half Kiss, and it's like okay, well, be miserable in your misery. I don't want to subscribe to that. I want to subscribe to the fact that it's bigger than that. Going with my mom is not about Gene Simmons. It's about that moment, and that moment is finite in time. I won't be able to reproduce it forever. Right. And going with your kids, and listen, I'm trying to think. Well, in fact, I think Alice Cooper was the first show I took my kids to, but then I did take them to Kiss shows, right. And it was a moment, and it was an event, and we have pictures lying around the house of at the venue, and that's it. That's the point.
So speaking of Gene,
hold on a second, Dennis. I'm going to read something from one of the friends of our show, because we're talking about half of the real Kiss or whatever. Let me pull this up here real quick.
All right.
You guys continue to talk, but I want to give Brian Harris a shout out because he posted something today that was bang on, and it just needs to be said out loud.
Okay, that's fine. Real quick, you mentioned on some other sites where we were talking with Julian Gill what's the situation with Twitter? Getting you guys got blocked. You got Gene blocked.
I got blocked by Gene Simmons. Mine goes back about 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, is it that long? Okay.
Oh, that long ago. Gene had said something, as Gene tended to say, and I forget what it was. It was either something about, and I don't think it was the suicide one, but he said one of those ones where everybody was mouthing off about it. And I had posted the article on my Twitter from, I think, Ultimate Classic Rock or one of those sites, and I had tagged him at Gene Simmons, and of course, the fans got on there and went, "He's a fuck, he's a this, he's an ass, he's a,"
Yeah.
And I wrote back, and I had written, I happen to agree with Gene on this.
Right.
And I literally wrote, I happen to agree with Gene on this, and then I was blocked, and I went, I agreed with you. How? And I have the picture. I'll have to post them side by side at some point. But I was like,
that's funny.
Wait a minute, I agreed. What? And I've never been unblocked. They don't obviously revisit it. They probably block 10,000 people, so they're not going to start scrolling and randomly on. But I'm assuming that with all the vitriol that was coming through and all the people saying fuck, and asshole, and that they just went, fuck it. We're just going to ban everybody on this thread. Whoever's on this thread, we're just one after the other. We're just blocking.
That's kind of what Julian's been nothing but, hell, he was the second person to buy. He was the second person to get a vault. I mean, really?
Yes.
It was like Julian's been one of his biggest. He's flying the Kiss flag forever, So I don't know.
Since then, I fly the Kiss flag. Since then, I have interviewed Gene Simmons. Right. Since then, I have.
You should have said, "Hey, why am I off your Twitter?"
I was about to, but I've interviewed Gene. I've interviewed Paul. I've been to a show where I had my picture taken with them.
Right.
the math doesn't add up. If they had said no interviews for that idiot, no pictures for him, no, I'd say okay, there's something I did and they're really pissed. Right. The only logical explanation is that they looked at that Twitter thread and they just said, fuck it, everybody's on this, gets thrown off.
And probably Gene had nothing to say about that. It was all his team, his Twitter people. And all
I'm
that.
assuming because listen, Gene is not a shy person. When we were doing the interview, if he was really threatened by me or really angry, I'm sure he would have said, "Oh, you're the fucker, huh?" I'm sure he would.
Oh, I guarantee he would have.
And he did. Listen, it's got to be a misunderstanding because I know I didn't badmouth them. I know it, and folks know it. They see all my Kiss stuff, and people moan and complain about the Kiss stuff and go, "Oh, you post too much about Kiss." It's like, well, I need to tell you this, but that's what a lot of fans want to read about. Anyway,
exactly. Alan, you
all
find
right.
your thing.
Our good friend Brian Harris posted 12 hours ago. To all those bitching, complaining about every little thing regarding Kiss, check out pictures, videos of kids, teens seeing Kiss for the first and last time this final tour. The happiness, joy, smiles, screams. Kiss is not your band. It belongs to the Kiss Army. Fans of all ages, stop being selfish, focusing on your favorite lineup, criticizing all others, and putting the band down. To these younger fans, this is their Kiss.
There you
go.
Couldn't have said that any better. So, Brian,
perfect.
You win the Ages of Rock. We just made up an award for Brian Harris Award.
There you go.
Are you giving him my jacket? Is that what's happening?
That's exactly what's happening because he lives here in Evansville, so we don't have to pay for shipping.
To Canada, which costs a ton.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. I came up with this the other day, and I want it for everybody. Because of Bohemian Rhapsody, Mitch? Did you see Bohemian Rhapsody? I'm sure.
I have not.
What the fuck have you been doing? They've
been interviewing everybody.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not a fan necessarily of Queen.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Second of all,
go ahead.
Second of all, the local theater that's near me, because there's one 10 kilometers away, so about 6 miles, and then the next one's like 45 kilometers away, so like 25 miles. Right. I just don't like it. It's old, it's dirty, it's crigidity, and it's like $18 for a film. I'm like, dude, it'll be on fucking.
You can buy the DVD for that.
Yeah, so. It'll be on Netflix or on demand for like $5. I'll just wait. So I will see it eventually, but
just for instance, it is a good movie. You need to watch. It's not. Don't get sued. I mean, well, since you're not a fan of Queen or a big fan, you're not gonna get all caught up in all. Yeah, but you're not going to get caught up in all the minutia. People who got all beat up, like, oh, well, they played this song before they were actually. You know what? Fuck that.
And minutia is a terrific.
Yeah. So anyway, so here's what I'm saying though, because of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
And now you've got Rocket Man coming out next year.
Mm-hmm. And the Dirt.
The Dirt's coming out March 22nd, I believe, on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've had previous great movies, we had Val Kilmer and the Doors, which I think was a great movie.
Yeah.
You've had Angela Bassett? She do the Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It? That was a good one. Then you had the Buddy Holly story with the crazy dude. What's it?
Gary Busey.
Which before his head injury.
I've actually seen that.
And that's actually really good. And actually, he learned he sang all that and played all that himself. So
my favorite is Almost Famous.
Almost, well, yeah, but that's on a fake.
The story of Mitch. It's fantastic.
But then look, you
Rockstar was good too.
Rockstar was great.
Well, but Rockstar is not based on a real movie.
Sure.
Stay with
Almost Famous. Am I mistaken? Isn't Almost Famous a real writer? Wasn't that
Almost Famous? Yeah, is built on the guy who wrote Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
He was the husband of Nancy Wilson. I can't think of his name. Anyway, it was based on his one. Yeah,
yes,
basically. But anyway, you have all these great movies based on all these things, and even like Walking the Line with so was it Mr. Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix or whatever you want to say. There's been all these great movies. Now, what do you want to see? What should be the next few movies, or who would you like to see
All right,
immortalized in a movie?
All right, that's a good question, because you need a band that is going to cross
Or a
crossover that people are going to be interested in. So, what would be interesting, to me, obviously, would be something about 80s bands, a good Bon Jovi movie, or because Bon Jovi, I'm told, is run like the mafia. And if you can get into that and have sort of that darker side of it, would be interesting. Def Leppard, a real movie, not that crap that was on VH1, which was filmed in Montreal, by the way.
I liked that movie, actually. That was kind of cool. I mean, it was
how I
goofy,
found out about that movie? I
that?
literally was walking down the streets of Montreal, and there was a section blocked off, and they said filming. and I saw these guys come out, and I went, "Go!" They look like Def Leppard, and they go. Somebody went, "Shit, they're filming the Def Leppard movie." I was like, "Oh,
that's cool."
Okay. When's that coming out? Next year. Don't worry about it. But then if you're looking at mass appeal, you're probably looking at a U2 movie or a Madonna movie or a Billy Joel movie or Elton John movie. I mean,
Elton John's Rocket Man's coming out.
Yeah, true.
So
then you're looking at those kinds of they cross boundaries. Maybe a Nirvana into Foo Fighters movie would probably get a lot of interest because of the Nirvana and the Kirk and the suicide and the blah 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 blah, blah and Kirk and Courtney Love, and all the conspiracy theories on whether it was a suicide or not. So you would have to look at one of those that has a mass appeal. So I don't think. Listen, I love Poison. I love Cheap Trick. I love Quiet Riot. I don't think that those in a cinematic, not a documentary style like Quiet Riot.
I think Alice Cooper would make a good one.
Yeah, Alice could, but
because of his
appeal is somewhat linear. If you look at his tours when he's solo, he's doing 2,500 seaters, 30. To me, the next movie has to be something that's like stadium act, like a Metallica movie. I think a U2 movie, which I'm not a fan of U2, but I think they have such broad appeal,
right,
that it could be, one of these Oscar-nominated, sold out all over the country kind of.
Right. But there's never been a Hendrix.
Nobody's do a Michael Jackson movie.
What's that?
I said, let's do a Michael Jackson movie.
A Michael Jackson would be a good one. I mean, if you really got in depth with it.
Yeah, it depends how you want to deal with it.
Right. I mean, you could go with.
But there was a Jackson 5 movie that was on.
Yeah, there's been some kind of.
ABC back in the day?
Yeah, some kind of. Yeah,
it was like
one of the networks.
TV movies.
Which isn't going to delve into any kind of, all the crap that he had. But I mean, there's just but I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like going, how many more could we do? Dewey Cox to me is the best. Have you ever seen that one?
No, but I'm not surprised you like Cox.
No, Dewey Cox. It is basically. Thank you. That's the best joke of the whole night, Mitch. I appreciate that. Dewey one. But no, Dewey Cox is that's the best kind of it's a spoof on all these movies about rock stars, and it's a good movie. But Elvis, there's never been a really good show on Elvis. I mean, if you think about it, like toward the end, the bad Elvis, we don't want to see all the.
But you see, you'll never get those because their estates control everything so much that if you try to do a bad drug-addled Elvis, they would sue you into oblivion that you could never get the production off the thing. And then, of course, what's an Elvis movie with no Elvis music? And if you're going to badmouth him, well, guess who's not getting the rights?
That's true.
So, that's why you're probably looking at something like U2 or Madonna. And I'm sure Madonna, the way she is, she's very open, or Lady Gaga. They're very open about sexuality. They're very open.
Actually, David Bowie would be another good one.
Yeah.
Bowie would be a great movie, actually.
Yep. So. Yeah, and see, they've always been very open in the public about what they had to do to get famous, what they, who they had to sleep with, and what they had to put up with. So you probably could get a very, very honest Madonna movie or very honest Lady Gaga movie, and I would probably check that out. I'm not a fan.
Right. We could do a Keith Richards movie, but it would have to be like a mini series. It'd have to be like 12 hours long because he's going to live forever. So it's just.
Yeah,
I got one laugh out of it.
he's the greatest.
No, that was
That was a pity laugh.
at your expense, which was best. Which actually is the best laugh of the day
Okay.
night, which is awesome.
Sorry.
That's great.
I had to get my Keith Richards in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
We like Keith. So what else have we got?
Mitch, what do you I have not had the opportunity to listen to the show for a few weeks. So any new music that you've come across that is just incredible?
Huh. You know, listen, there's a lot of albums out there that are safe listening. If I can coin that term, they're a good listen. I don't think 5 years down the road I'll be pulling them out, but the new Last in Line #2 with Vivian Campbell and Vinny Appice is safe listening. The new Queensryche is very safe listening. You know what you're going to get going in. They deliver sort of an old school Queensryche done in the new style. And if you like that, you're gonna enjoy the album. Is it an album that I'm gonna have a 20th anniversary deluxe edition of? You know, probably not. The new Buck Cherry, which comes out in late March, or actually March 8th, I believe it is, called War Paint. I'm a huge Buck Cherry fan. I like what they do. It's dirty rock and roll, and they continued to do the dirty rock and roll thing. So is it going to be all over radio? Probably not. Again, am I going to listen to it in 5 years? Maybe, but it is what it is, and it's good right now. What was another one that I had a chance to listen to? Oh, well, the new Whitesnake I had a chance to preview. They sent me the new Whitesnake, and they also sent me they also sent me the Tom Petty box set. Yeah, the new Whitesnake is it's exactly what you expect it to be. It's Whitesnake with a few pretensions of old Whitesnake, but it's not the old guys, and it's not the whole blues vibe. It's sort of like blues metal Whitesnake, and I like it. I think it's competent. You know, am I going to look down the road for 20 years? Maybe not. But then again, I love Whitesnake, and I tend to stick with them. But yeah,
You know,
the
we
new
had-
one that
we
comes
had
out
Jeff-
in May.
Yeah, we had Jeff Pilson on the other night, and he was talking about his new record he was doing with Matt Starr. Who else was on that, Bill? Do you remember?
George Lynch.
No. The other
it was the
project.
other band that he couldn't
Oh.
tell us the name of.
He was doing a project, but he even said, he goes, it's kind of white snakey. It's kind of got a white snake vibe to it. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
trying to
well,
think who that one's
it's
with.
Matt Starr, and I got it written down here. Hold on a second, let me find.
And he also does The End Machine, or he produced
Yeah.
The End Machine. No, he's in The End
he's
Machine.
he's in that.
Here it is.
Did you-
Red Beach, Matt Starr, and Robin McCauley. He was from the guy who's singing with Michael Schenker.
Yeah, and he's also doing the Vegas show. What is that Vegas show? Raiding the Rock Vault.
Right. But he would, but that's was the first thing that Jeff said was the fact that it was kind of, we asked him, you know, what kind of vibe is the music in? And he said, well, it's kind of white snaky. So it's like, take that for what you want, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, Jeff does great stuff. The End
Jeff-
Machine stuff is fun too, and you know, listen, I've been I spent 6 months rediscovering all of Foreigner with all the B-sides and the unreleased demos and blah 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 blah. I've now jumped into a Bon Jovi rabbit hole where I've literally picked up songs that I never knew existed. And you know, they're doing duets with Willie Nelson and stuff that I didn't know existed. You Are Always on My Mind, and so I've put together a playlist of all these sort of wacky Bon Jovi songs. Nothing from the albums, just live versions of songs that are on albums, or demo songs, or unreleased songs. It's I don't know. I'm having a Bon Jovi spring, though we're still winter.
Your winter solstice is Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
There you go.
That
Bon
sounds
Jovi's
awesome.
Bon Jovi stuck his head out of the ground, and he got 6 more weeks of Bon Jovi.
There you go.
I don't even know how I jumped back into it quite quickly. I was literally listening to Foreigner for like 9 straight months, and suddenly I made a Bon Jovi playlist, and now I'm head deep into that. I mean, I got one right in front of me. I mean, this is this One Wild Night demo version with all kinds of different things, and it's a DJ thing with different IDs on it where John is introducing different songs, and it's just, I don't know, I'm in this weird.
Oh. I'm actually going to go see Foreigner. Actually, the tickets go on sale tomorrow, Thursday. I'm buying
Where
tickets.
Raymond or whatever they call it.
No,
They're coming here to
no,
Evansville.
I'm in Evansville. It'd be at the old was it Old National Bank, whatever they call that place now. It's a smaller, it's a medium venue.
Center,
it's not a big.
or Old National Events Plaza.
Yeah, Old National Events Plaza.
I get Foreigner, and then I get Kiss 6 days later. So
That's a good time.
But
Right there.
I've never seen Foreigner, so this is my first time seeing them. So
oh my gosh, they're really good.
Bill seen them what, like 28 times last year?
No, I saw them like 3 times one year. But I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him in at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Right.
Right before the 500. There's a race. There's a concert 2 days before the race. So they're going to be playing that.
Oh, and they're great. I mean, they are one of those bands that actually could change all the members and go on, and people would still go because they were faceless to start off with.
Right.
And the music that the band plays, the music great.
Ironically, the very first time I saw them live, the only original member was Mick Jones, who did not show up because he had some heart issues.
Me too.
And they were playing a yeah, you did. They were playing a benefit event basically,
Right.
But it was phenomenal. And Kelly Hansen, and you couldn't tell any difference. And
Well,
it was amazing.
I put Foreigner in that same people who, whenever they come to town, I go see, and that's REO, Styx, Foreigner. You know what I'm saying? Those bands there. Well, every time that they come to town, they'll deliver the fucking goods. I mean, you can go and you're going to have a good time, and you're going to know every song that they play. You're going to sing along with everything. You're going to walk out of that place with a smile on your face, and your pocketbook's not going to be drained.
No, because
that's what I like.
Their
about
T-shirts aren't crazy. I think they were like $40 or $35. It's
even just to get that. I mean, you can go out for a good night, have a dinner, and have a great night, and come home and don't feel like you just butt raped. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's a good night. So anytime those guys are in town, I will go see them. I mean, period. So anyway,
where do you get your analogies?
Oh,
never mind.
He got them from Mr. Cox.
Yes, he did.
If you've never seen that movie, you need to watch that. I
don't think that's what he's talking about.
I love a movie. Who doesn't?
Anyway,
ridiculous. So
Mitch, we'll in on that. Oh, what do you think?
Any other words of wisdom for us,
bud,
before we let you get out of here?
Well, it depends. I mean, yeah, it's night, but I'm still good. There's not a lot of words of wisdom. I mean, I think the best thing when you're doing shows is try to stay positive. You know, we're here to celebrate the music. I don't think we're here to deconstruct it and tear it apart, because we're fans because it meant something to us and it was celebratory. You know, music is played at weddings and at prom and at different events, usually because it's to celebrate. I mean, I don't have another word for it, but that's what it's for. And so to be caustic about it and say, well, it's not the same as it was in 1979. It's like, well, no, but neither are you. So like let it go. And you know, here's we run out and buy the album the first day. We stood in line at the record store the first day. We slept outside the concert venue to get those tickets first because it meant something to us. So I don't know why a lot of us take this position of, well, it meant something to me now, but now I'm king of the hill and fuck them for. No, you can still have that joy, and you can. So just enjoy it. And if you don't want to enjoy it, that's fine. That's your choice. But let others enjoy it. Don't come on to my Facebook and say, you're wrong for liking that Kiss song. It's like, no, I'm not. I mean, and nor are you wrong for not liking it. But don't hassle me with your misery. Let me just enjoy the fact that, So that's what my message is when you're doing Ages of Rock or Rock Talk with Mitch LaFon or Talking Metal with Mark Striegel or any of those. Just put out a positive message and remember why you're there, because the music made you smile. It made you have that first kiss. It made you have that first dance. It made you have that wife. It made you have that. That's what it did. You know, your team won the championship and you heard "We Are the Champions." That's what it's about. You know,
that's a great ending to this show. That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for being on again. We appreciate it.
Yes, and my jacket size I will take is XL.
XL. You got it for that beefy body you got there.
Yeah, it's terrific. Yeah, but hey, and if there's anything else, I'm here. I'll give you. Let's go. Let's talk. Anything?
All right.
I mean,
give him a plug.
Guy doesn't say much down here. That
guy never says anything.
Plug your show, Mitch.
Oh yes, this
There you
show, the one and only, the one. See, I got to get one and only in there. Rock Talk with Mitch LaFawn, or as I like to refer to it, Westwood Ones. Rock Talk with Mitch LaFawn is heard every Monday on all the Westwood One properties. You can get an Apple podcast, Amazon Alexa, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher. It's out there in the atmosphere, and we try to keep it to an hour and a half. We got different guests coming on. I got a lot of producers coming on, a lot of writers. We got Jim Valance, we got Ron Nevison, Bob Clearmountain is supposed to make an appearance. Working on getting a Bon Jovi interview. We've got I've got a Def Leppard one actually scheduled next week that'll air in March. I've got an LA Guns special that's already in the can that'll come out in just before the album release, where Tracy and Tracy and Phil take on Nikki Sixx, which is actually funny. But I won't say more about that because I'm sure it's going to cause a few headlines. Just check it out. Just come over to a Rock Talk with Mitch LaFawn. It's easy to Google. It's easy to probably not so easy to Bing, but then again, who bings?
Who bings?
The joke about Bing is about Spider-Man. You're watching Spider-Man 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and you're like, oh, I believe these webs come out and I see him climbing walls. I'm in with you. And then you see him typing in Bing and you go, I can't fucking buy into this movie. Nobody does that.
Nobody does.
Fuck's this.
All right, man.
I believe the superhero stuff, but no.
not that. You believe he's got spider webs coming out of his wrists, and he can.
He's got spidey senses, and he can climb walls. And then you go, he's searching on Bing. You go, motherfuckers, that's not a real movie. Nobody does. God,
that's awesome.
Well, on that note, we'll end this show here. Thanks for tuning in again this week, folks. Check us out on agesofrock.com. Find our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on there. Our link to Stitcher Radio. Catch our weekly replay on 105theglobe.com. And until next week, peace out. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.